Hi everyone, this is Prins, and this is the second video in the short series on trauma and traumatic stress. So in this video, I'm going to be introducing 3 different techniques and exercises for managing stress and stabilizing the nervous system. So just to recap what we spoke about a little bit in the first video, when we're in a highly stressful situation, our nervous system, it becomes disturbed, and we need to help calm it back down again. Now, this process, it naturally happens anyways. Our bodies are always trying to self-regulate. They're always trying to achieve a state of homeostasis. So even if we were to do nothing, we would just have to wait it out, and eventually we would go back to feeling stabilized again. The difference is that if you're doing these exercises, it's a great way to speed up the process and to get yourself back to a stable, secure, safe place a lot faster than if you were to do nothing. So that's the idea behind these. Now, as you can see, the idea is to get into the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's the rest and digest. And researchers at Harvard coined this term the relaxation response. So if we're initiating that response, we're moving between states in our autonomic nervous system much faster. And this is good for us in terms of building up a tolerance to stress and in terms of managing our stress so that we don't become overwhelmed. So when you start reaching that point of feeling overwhelmed, you're able to sort of back away from the edge. And that's what these exercises can do. So like I said, there's going to be 3 different ones, and I think it's important that you give all 3 of them a try because everyone's a little bit different in what they respond to and what they like best. All of them do require a certain amount of practice. I would say just if you pick one and you try it out and you, I don't know, devote at least a minute per day to doing this, over time, it does build up that new kind of pathway in yourself to where your nervous system, it responds faster. It becomes more, as we would say, tones, and you're able to move between feelings of calm and feelings of being more on high alert. Because as we know, it's not healthy to be in the sympathetic mode for really long periods of time. It's just too many stress hormones like moving through the system. It's just not good for us in terms of our mental health and well-being, our immunity, all of those things. Okay, so the first one I'm going to be talking about is grounding. Okay, so this is just ideas about what is the point of grounding. And it's a way of breathing that it reconnects us back to our body. What it does is it takes our awareness and our consciousness out of our heads, where we might be in a moment of overthinking, or we might be feeling extremely stressed, very anxious. And what this does is it puts our awareness elsewhere, and it reconnects us to feelings of stability and safety. And it does this pretty quickly. So if you think in terms of electricity, so when someone wires up a building, you always have to earth the electrical system. We're not different, really. So just as electricians, they use an earth wire to earth the system, make sure everything is safe and grounded, we need to be doing the same thing for our bodies. It makes our nervous system feel stable and settled again. So just bear with me a second while I pull up the other slides. So like I said, I'm just going to walk you through, and you might want to put me on pause while you give this a go and spend a little bit more time trying it out. So I would recommend to try this first time when you're sitting down. So find a comfortable chair and put both feet firmly on the floor. And just start to maybe move your feet around. Just put your awareness down by your feet. That's the whole idea behind this. Just take a few slow breaths, nothing out of the ordinary, just regular breathing. And I want you to place all of your awareness down to your feet. Just imagine that you're breathing through the soles of your feet and that you can inhale and exhale through them. So each inhale, you're breathing air up from the ground, up into your feet, up into your legs, into your body. And then when you're exhaling, you're moving that back down through and pushing it back down into the earth. If you find this a little bit difficult, just simply place your awareness down by your feet. You don't need to do anything different. So you can either just stop here and continue doing it this way, or you can maybe push it a little bit further and imagining that you have roots, like tree roots, and they come down through the bottoms of the soles of your feet, and they just move into the earth and they make contact into the earth, and you can breathe in and out of those tree roots. And just notice how it feels. See if you can connect to this. See if you feel anything sensation-wise. Some people can report feeling a certain amount of warmth or pins and needles, tingling, that kind of thing. That's all good. That's a good sign. That means that something's being activated. And what you want to do is, if you can feel those things, you just practice seeing if you can move those sensations further up your feet into your legs, see how far you can take them. So that's the main practice of grounding. It's just putting your awareness down by your feet and breathing normally. No need to do anything else. So the second exercise is what's known as box breathing. This is super simple as well, simple but effective. So for example, I know that Navy SEALs use this kind of breath work specifically when they are prepping their minds to do a kind of a rigorous training exercise. And they'll do this for about 5 minutes at a time. I know some musicians also use this form of breathing to get into more of a deep breathing rhythm. And that really helps to kind of reset the system and initiate feelings of, being in the zone, being calm, being stable as well. Really, really simple. All you have to do is inhale for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, hold it again for a count of 4. As you see, that's why it's a box. You're sort of just breathing kind of like in a square. Now, if you want to, because I sometimes find this helpful if I'm feeling a little edgy and I want to get my mind away from that, is I will actually count internally while I'm doing this one. And it's just that sort of rhythmic counting up to 4, counting up to 4. And it can be really helpful, and it can just take your mind away from wherever it is at the moment. But what you do is you can play around with this, because sometimes people feel like a 4 count isn't enough. You can like raise it up to a 5 or a 6, see how that feels. You can try different kind of combinations about inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. Just see what you think. See what starts to make you feel good, I suppose. Just see what you like. You've got to find out which one works best for you and which one works best for your system. I like this one because it's simple, it's effective, and you can do it anywhere and no one knows that you're doing it. So that's the second one. The third one. So this is sort of it's called a few different things. It's either called the safe place, the calm place, the happy place exercise. And this is about using your imagination to take you somewhere else. So it gives you a place to go to in your mind when you feel stressed or upset. By putting yourself into this imaginal place and using all of your 5 senses to enhance it and to really, really put yourself there, you are triggering the parasympathetic nervous system. So you're moving out of that state of high alert, that fight or flight, and you're putting yourself somewhere very calm and safe and peaceful, somewhere that actually, let's just go through this. The first step is to create the image. So I would say you don't necessarily need to have been to this place, but it does help. If you've, been on a beach holiday, or you really love being around the ocean, or you love forest, or you love, rolling hillside, like where do you love in nature? What really does it for you? And, you know, usually people have something that comes up pretty quickly, like just a place that appears, it's somewhere that they've been before that makes them feel really good. So that's great. Just identify your place, see what comes up for you. And then share it in as much detail as you possibly can. Really get the details in. And that's all about developing the emotion and sensations about being there. So think about all 5 of your senses. It's really important to, I don't know, activate all of these. So do the hearing. What do you hear? Do you hear birdsong? Do you hear the waves breaking on the sands? What is it that you're hearing? What do you see? What do you see around you? Imagine that you're touching something that's in the environment, like you're picking up a seashell, or you're, I don't know, picking up a leaf off the ground, or, you know, picking a flower, you're doing something touch-wise, and imagine what that feels like to do. Smells, what does it smell like? Is there something, I don't know, flowers, the smell of the sea, something like that? Just really work on enhancing being in this place as much as you possibly can. If you concentrate on, I don't know, nice feelings, like let's say that the predominant feeling of the space for you is peace or relaxation or happiness, really try to focus on where you feel that within your physical body. So sometimes people will feel maybe something, a lightness in their chest, or they just feel a sense of joy or happiness coming through. So just focus on that and allow that to grow and develop, and try and intensify it as much as you can. And then what you're going to want to do is identify one particular word that might sum up this place for you. So it could be happy, it could be joy, it could be peace, calm, whatever it is that comes to you, that's fine. And just remember that, because you're going to use that to, I don't know, weave it all together, to tie all of this together, all the visual and sort of sensual, I don't know, characteristics of the place. And you want to then tie that together with any emotions that come up. And then you're going to, you know, further tie it up together by identifying that cue word, which is important. So once you do that, you're going to be combining all of that together, and mentally repeat your cue word a couple times in your head. Stay in this place for as long as you're able to. And it's really nice to just notice, how do you feel once you open your eyes again and come out of this compared to how you felt when you first entered the space? And it can be good to think of something that irritates you, or think of something stressful. Feel the stress coming back to you, and then think of this place again, and just play around with moving from a state of stress to a place of peace, calm, happiness, and start to notice that. So these are the 3 exercises. I mean, the one thing I would say is, see if when you're practicing these, see if you can do that in a quiet space initially. So you need to start to feel comfortable with doing it. And the best way is to, I don't know, have some time and space around yourself that, I don't know, you can practice. So find a quiet space, find a comfortable space, and I guess just get familiar with these techniques, see which ones work for you, and then try to practice them for just a couple minutes a day. And it does take time, but you will notice a difference after a while. So I hope this has been helpful, and join me for the 3rd video in the series, which will be all about some, I think, 2 specific techniques about how to process a trauma. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you then.